Hey y'all, thanks for joining me today. I'm Tish and this is Tish Loves Home. Hey y'all, thank you so much for joining me today for my Christmas home tour. I am so happy that I am finished decorating, with the exception of just a few little tweaks that I've got to make. It's exhausting, I mean it really is, and I'm gonna make a confession here. Christmas is just not my favorite holiday, and I think mainly because there's so much to do in such a short period of time that I get very overwhelmed. So I always feel better when I get everything decorated, I finish most of my shopping, and then I can just kind of sit back and enjoy. So I'm really close. There's a few little details that I've got to finish, and I'll share that with you while we're going through. I'm gonna try to tell you where everything pretty much came from. My house is a collection of things that have been passed down to me. There's a lot of thrift store finds, you know, and it's really not like I just go to the store and I buy new things every year and go from there. I really don't. But that's what makes it meaningful to me, is because most of the things that I have some kind of significance. So I will share those as I'm going through. Probably won't be a lot of things where I can say, if you like this, go buy it here, because that's just not kind of how my house works. But I hope it gives you some ideas of how you can take things that you already have and maybe use them in a different way. So we're gonna get started and check out all the Christmas decor. So I'm gonna start out in the garage. As you are coming in, I have this little wreath. I got that at Walmart several years ago, and then this little snowman sign came from Michael's also several years ago. And my little rug out here, the top one I just got today at Ross. It was $8.99. And then the green scalloped came from Walmart, and that was part of their fall collection. And I had a fall rug, and I just replaced it with this one. So I usually just kind of do a little bit out here. Okay, we're gonna start in the dining room. So this tray stays out all year long. If you've seen some of my other videos, you'll know that I just kind of change out what I put around it. I added this cute little tree here. That was a Walmart find. I got it in October, and I have not seen those since I got it. It was like $10. And then I added all of these floral picks. I've got my little fairy lights in there. The glasses are Pioneer Woman. I just bought those this year, I think in October also. And pretty much they can be used for almost every season for me in this room. These little napkins, Caroline made these a few years ago. And then I already had these green chargers and these blue and white plates. Those came from Walmart, but I've had them for about 4 or 5 years, so I had those for a while. And then I just added the blue ribbon to my topiaries. And then I added some ribbon up here to the chandelier. So that is my table. I am thinking next year I'm gonna start adding a little bit of red. I've kind of missed the red, and I think that'll give it a little pop. So that's will be in the works for then. And then this is my grandmother's buffet that I've had for several years, well, many, many years actually, and painted it this color. These deer, if you saw my last decorate video, these were given to our school many years ago by a sweet lady that she's no longer with us, but they are breakable. So after I left and we had them in storage for a long time, I just decided that I would use those at home, and I let her know that, and she was very happy to know that I was using them. They just look real sweet up here, and I added all the greenery around them. I've got some more of the Christmas balls and fairy lights. This tree came from a thrift store. I bought that at some point throughout the year. I think it was like $3. And just added a few little candle things that I will probably put some things in these votives before Christmas. And then I have my little salt and pepper shakers over here. I have my little skates on the mirror. These came from Walmart about 2 years ago. I usually put a tree here, but y'all, I'm gonna be honest, it is in the way back of the attic, and I'm not dealing with it this year. I just cannot go up there and have to get that. So I had used this for Caroline's birthday and for Thanksgiving, so I decided I was just gonna add some greenery and ribbon, and then I will put a verse on here soon, and it's fine. You know, next year I'll get the tree back out, but not gonna worry about that right now. Have my little gnome. He's a Walmart find from several years ago. Polka dotted pillow cover there, that came from Shein. And then I think this pillow was from DG. And then over here, this candle is driving me crazy because it's always wanting to fall. This is a nativity set that I found at a thrift store, I think last year. The only thing wrong with it is one of the wings on the angel is broken. But, you know, you really can't even tell that. I just kind of got her to the side. And I just had to have it because I love the blues and the whites. I want to say this came from a Goodwill, and it was only $5 or $6. And then I've just added some greenery. I would like a little bit more, but I haven't found what I'm looking for yet. And then the fairy lights, and then ribbon. And I bought a lot of this ribbon this year because I knew I was going to be using a lot of candles and ribbon, and that's kind of been my thing. This is just a little riser that I already had that I put Mary and Joseph and baby Jesus on, so that would kind of stand out a little bit. So this is the entry table, and I have my angel. If you saw my last video, I shared her. She also came from a thrift store, I think maybe $1, and I just attached her to that wreath that was already there. I think that's really pretty here as you come in. And so this is the whole dining room scene. And the mirror I did add over there also. That came from Michael's several years ago, and it was probably like 75 or 80% off. I didn't really pay that much for it at all, and I usually just hang it in here. So here is my dining room. You see my wreaths on the outside, and my little Hampton. He's gonna assist me today. Very much me in this room. It's very soothing in here. It's calming. So there it is. Probably add a little red in here next year. I'm really thinking about that. And I did put my garland up this year, and this is just the short side of the staircase. And I just added ribbon where I connected it and tied it in bows. I bought this garland at Walmart last year. It did not last long, and I got it really early in the season, and then of course they sold out. But I haven't even seen it this year, so I don't know that they're selling that again. The bells that I have at the bottom here, I painted these to give them that age look, and they are Dollar Tree bells. And it's kind of, I think it's like the little bronzers, the thing that I used on it, just to make them look a little aged. And then I've got ribbon also at the end on both. I'm gonna back up and come in so you can see this huge tree. It's tall, y'all. I mean, it probably could be a little shorter and I'd be fine, but my husband loves it. So he's happy, and I'm just gonna be happy with him because it is pretty. It's just really, really tall. So here's the garland on this side, and I just have my ribbons. I love the ribbon. I've got all that in. And then of course our tree, this came from Hobby Lobby. It is 12 feet. And it is flocked. I'll get a little closer to it in a minute. On my shelves, I pretty much did what I did last year and just added a few things differently, and it went by pretty fast. This nativity scene my mother gave to me, so many years ago. I don't even think Trent and I had been married that long, and I didn't use it for a long time. And last year I found it and just thought it matched so pretty in my den. So I'm loving having that there. Thrift store little Christmas tree. This picture has the snowflakes on it, and my mother-in-law had given me that for Christmas one year. It's been a long time ago, and I like that there. These little angels were my granny's. I actually gave those to her, and then when she passed away, my aunts gave them back to me. So I love using those. They make me think about her. My little vintage thrift store angel, I've had her for a long time too. And then I just put my little Rudolph pillow here. That was a DG from this year. It was $5. And then a little blanket in the chair. These picks came from, ooh, I left that there, Walmart. And they're that Texas, my Texas house. I think that's what it's called. I think they were about $6 each. Hampton's little stocking is over here. It looks just like him. And then on these shelves, I have my deer. These came from Walmart, but that was several years ago. It's one of my favorite things. I love those. And then I just have a little tree here. I have a little nutcracker there. And then these carolers I got this year at a thrift store. And I love these little metal trees. They came from Joann's several Christmases ago, and I think I got them for like 80% off, so they were next to nothing, but I use those every year. And then here's a look at the tree up close a little bit. My blue and polka dotted ribbon, I added that several years ago and did all the bows. It just kind of brings the rest of the family ornaments together. I think it's kind of like it unifies the tree. And I think it will be pretty easy for me just to add some more red into it. I don't think that's going to be hard to do. And then my tree skirt came from Kirkland's, but again, it's probably been 5 years or more. It's just linen with the ruffle, and I just think it blends really well in the den. And then my mantle, I did this on my first Decorate With Me video. This is just a mixture of garlands and picks of flowers that I collected, as well as ornaments. And then, of course, my bows and my ribbon, and then these big bells over here. These I ordered from Amazon last year. The bow garland, if you've seen some of my other videos, I made this. These bows I bought from Shein. They are barrettes. And they were like less than $2 each. And then I just glued them together and put them right up here on my mantle. And they come in every color you can imagine. So if you like this, but you need a different color, easy to find. They have tons of them. And for that price, I think it's a really pretty garland and easy to make. And then our stockings, these came from Etsy, and these came from Jane.com, which is not a thing anymore, I don't think. And when my son-in-law joined the family, I couldn't find one exactly like that, but I found one close, and so we've got his in there. And then my topiaries are always there, and I just, of course, added my blue ribbon. And then this painting is another one of my very favorite things. I bought this at Kirkland's several years ago, and I already had that frame and just put it in the frame. I just think it is so pretty up here. And then my gold candlesticks and my blue candles. These little packages I found at Ross after Christmas one year for a couple of dollars a piece. And then my Amazon candles, I'd have those set normally at night, so they'll come on at a certain time and then they go off. And then we have our little baby Jesus, which we used to put him out on Christmas Day for the girls when they were little. And throughout the year, or out the month of December, they would put straw in his manger. So that was a sweet little memory, and I like him there. My star, I used to put it on top of the tree, but we really didn't think we needed it this year, so I just put it there. So that is the mantle. And then around, I just put a few little things that I've already had around. I don't love my pillow situation. I'm still working on that, but I do have a few little Christmas pillows here and there, and I already had that blanket. This year, I added this little tree, which came from Ross. I think it was like $15. It's got the little trees down there. The little nativity came from Walmart, and then the bells I got last year and tied the ribbons on it, and then I already had this little scalloped tray. And I pulled out my Advent devotional. I bought this year. It's just a prayer of the season for every day in December, just to keep me grounded and calm me a little bit when things kind of get overwhelming. I have not read this one, but I'm looking forward to doing it this year. It's by Sarah Young, and she's the one that does Jesus Calling, if you're familiar with those. It's a beautiful book. It's got lots of pretty illustrations in it and verses. And I think I'm just going to leave it out on the coffee table. And that way, when I'm just sitting down at night, I can pull it to do. My little Santa over here. Christmas blankets, you know, everywhere, because we love a blanket. So here's a look at the den. We don't have a huge den. It looks bigger when you're in here because the ceilings are high, but it is definitely cozy, and we're really, really enjoying it. In the kitchen, these are my little shelves that are above my desk, and I, always put something seasonal on these. So these little plates, the little nutcracker plates, I got those at Hobby Lobby last year, and they had, the bigger plates as well and a set, but I knew I was just gonna, do a little display. That picture back there was a thrift store find. This little tree came from the Target bullseye area. This little picture was a thrift store find. And then I have one of those little green trees. And then I just added my pink ribbon up there at the top. Over here, this is my little cake stand that I generally keep out. Just have my little mug, another one of those little trees. And then this cute little church painting. My friend gave me that last year, and I think that came from Dollar General. Here's one of my favorite new things. I found this picture at Michael's. It was half off, and they only had one, so I just felt like it was meant to be. I think it's so pretty in here because it's got all my colors, and then I have the little wreath up there. Now, looking at this picture, you're going to be so surprised. So this picture, I think I bought this first, or I might have bought this first, but look at this runner, y'all. It looks like they were a pair, but they weren't. I got the runner at Ross, and then I found that picture, and they just blend so perfectly together. So this is on my kitchen table, and this Santa was a thrift store find, Walmart trees from several years ago. Not real sure about this tree. I want to say it came from maybe TJ Maxx. And then I already had those candlesticks, and I put the white candles in it. I just wanted something kind of soft because the runner is just a statement within itself because it's got the scene on it. And then I tied my ribbons on my chandelier, and I added that garland. And we always put the lights back there when we have the cousins over and they do cookies. That's just a fun little thing for them. Hampton, do you want to go outside? Okay, baby. See, I've got my asparagus ferns on the floor over here because it's been so cold. Okay, I have my another white Santa. I love the white Santas over here, and he was a thrift store find. These little wreaths, I have them I have quite a few out throughout the house, and they came from Target's bullseye section several years ago, and then I added the ribbon. And then my little dish towels there. This I'm not through with yet, but I'm going to go ahead and share. It's just kind of plain, but I've ordered more candlesticks, so I'm going to do more candlesticks on each side, and probably, I don't know, I got to do something with a little bit more color just to jazz this up a little bit, and thinking I may even add something up there to the pendants. But this is the angel I got at Ross, thinking I was going to give it to a friend, but I gave her something else, so I got to keep the angel, and I love her. She's really pretty in my house. She kind of matches some of the other things that are there. And then I added this wreath underneath her, and I already had that cake stand, which came from TJ Maxx. I already had the runner. I probably need to wipe these counters off, y'all. These I already had. I have 2 of those. Those came from Walmart several years ago, and I have them inside. And then if you saw on my video, I added these wreaths to the back of these chairs. I started that last year, and those came from Hobby Lobby. And still using that same velvet ribbon. My little deer over here on my cake stand with just a few ornaments, very simple. I love this little Santa. He was a thrift store find. Another thrift store find, and that little tree probably came from the Target's Bullseye. These little packages came from Ross a couple years ago. And then I have another little thrift store white Santa with some little trees. This charcuterie board came from Hope's mother and father-in-law from last year as a gift to us. And then I tied my pink ribbon on my Pioneer Woman cake stand, which I love. And then up here, I have 2 little wreaths tied on these cabinets. And then I just want to share this, and I don't remember where I got it, but this is a little countdown nativity for Advent that Caroline got when she was little. And even though she's 16, she gets this out every year. You start with the manger frame, and then every day there's something else that you add to the manger scene. And of course, the last day it's baby Jesus. So that's just a special little memory for us. So I think that's everything in the kitchen. And like I said, the main thing I've got to do is I still want a little bit more up here. But other than that, I think we're good. So here is the other wreath, like the one in the kitchen. And this is in the little hallway leading up to the kitchen. And then back here we have our cousin's Christmas tree. When my oldest daughter was 5 and we moved into this house, I had a niece that was 3 at the time, and they started the Christmas tradition, and we get all of them together. We make an ornament, we do cookies, maybe watch a movie, exchange gifts, just spend time together. And so these ornaments on this tree are a collection of ornaments that they have made over the years at our cousin's Christmas. And I wanted these just to be separate from the main tree because it's such a special day for them that I wanted it to be where these ornaments only were on this little tree, and we could just see those and kind of walk down memory lane. That pillow is a thrift store find, and that one. This tree skirt was a curtain that I used, so I thought it was cute down here. I got these little boots at Aldi this year, and I have some pretty hollyberry greenery that I'm going to put in it, but Trent's got to get it down for me because I thought I was through with it, and I was not. And then up here, this little angel was my mom's, and I added that little greenery. And then my mother had given me this years ago, and I put it there. This is kind of our little kid corner back here. It's just a fun little area. And then I tied the bow up there. And then, you know, I love a laundry room, if you didn't know that about me. So I do have some things in my laundry room because I'm here, y'all, all the time. So this little rug, I just fell in love with the bows. I'm not real sure where I got that. I think it was TJ Maxx, but it can't be 100%. And then the red underneath it came from Ross. And then I just have my little shelf up here, has some Christmas cheer because, you know, I'm in here. And then this was my mom's, and I just used that as my little catch-all bowl in the laundry room. And then I just have some cloths hanging here, and then these bears I've got to wash. Those are going to be for a baby shower I'm doing soon. And then I have these little frames over here all the time, and I just added the wreaths and the little reindeer on them. So there's a little look at a little Christmas festivity in the laundry room. So in our guest bathroom, I got a little fun soap that came from Walmart. My little towel, like the one in the kitchen. Back here, I just put this cute little deer and a few ornaments, balls on it. And then I put this little Santa with these trees and ornaments here. We don't really use this tub a lot. That's why that's there. And I just did another one of those little wreaths there. So just a few little fun touches in the bathroom. I don't do a lot in our bedroom, but I did just put a little Christmas pillow and added the green throw. Then over here, I just have a Christmas tree pillow, and then these little deer, some of our favorite, we've had them forever, so I wanted to put those in here and just added a little tree. Just a little, not much. Here is the front door. I don't know how, I'm gonna have to check the lighting because it's kind of dark out here, but so I already had the garland, and like I said, I'm doing a lot of bows and ribbons, so I added that this year. This wreath I got last year from Walmart, and this ribbon is kind of going to be my theme for Christmas next year. I'm going to add some navy and maybe some light blue together. So that's kind of going to be my inspiration. And then I have the Christmas rug down here. The topiaries were my gift to myself. And I added these big bows on it. I just think it's so fun. And then the little figurines came from Dollar Tree. They were $5 each. The little elf and the little snowman over here. So that's all I did for the front. And then this was on one of my other videos on our French doors. In this area, I added these two wreaths. Thank y'all so much for joining me today. I hope you enjoyed this little tour of my house. It is nothing fancy, but it's just a lot of little things that I was given, I thrifted, and just added ribbon and greenery. And you know, you can do a lot with not much. So I hope it gives you a little inspiration. You do not have to go buy all new things every year to have a cozy home at Christmas. Take the things that you already have and you really love and just change them a little bit. Do something a little bit different with them, and it's like they're brand new again. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope your holidays are off to a good start. I will be sharing some things with you throughout the month of December that we have going on. Thank you so much for joining me. I hope you'll subscribe so you won't miss any other videos, and I'll see you next time.